Hello guys, my name is X1 Gamer and welcome to the very final card review for Descent of Dragons for Hearthstone next expansion that will be released very soon, December 10, 2019. So the stream was amazing. I really enjoyed the stream of the final review of the cards for Descent of Dragons. It was a bunch of interesting one, very few pack fillers. So without taking more of your time, let's go straight away because there is a lot of new cards. So this will probably be a little bit longer video than usual. So I suggest you grab a drink, lay down, take a snack and enjoy my review because it will be a little bit longer than usual. So without taking more of your time, let's go and see what was revealed in the final reveal stream by Blizzard. First of all, we have Shrub, 2 mana minion for Druid, 2 mana 1/1 Battlecry, summon a 2/2 treant. So how good is this? It's fine. It's 3 mana 3/3 basically in stats. It has some kind of synergistic ability with a Druid. Will this see play outside of treant Druid? Maybe, if token Druid is kind of a thing after the new expansion, but other than that I'm not very sure. So it is a 3-star card, a very good one for aggro decks, but nothing more than that. Next one, we have another Druid spell, 5 mana, Aeroponics. Draw 2 cards, cost 2 less for each treant you control. So you don't want to play this card outside of any treant deck because 5 mana draw 2 cards is absolutely horrible. It's absolutely horrible for the standards of Druid. So I don't think this card is particularly strong because it's way too complicated to use outside of a very specific niche decks. So I think this card will fall a little bit short. So I give it 2-star card. It's nothing too special. Next one, we have Mage side quest Elemental Allies. It costs 1 mana. Side quest, play an elemental 2 turns in a row. Reward, draw 3 spells from your deck. This is a little bit clunky and a little bit too slow for my taste. I don't see if this will be a viable card of type of card that you want to include in your deck, especially now when the dragons is kind of a thing, not elementals. But who knows, maybe in some form or another, this will see some play. This is a 2-star card for me, nothing too big, nothing too special. Next, we have Violet Fei Wink, 1 mana 1/1 elemental for Mage. Death Rattle, add an arcane missile spell to your hand. Perfect 1 mana drop for Mage. This can be used to make a presence on board, so when this die you will have kind of a small spell to clear the board. So this is definitely a 3-star card, a very good one, and will definitely see some play in one shape or another. If not now, maybe in 4 or 5 months when the next year of Hearthstone taking place and a lot cards is rotating out in Wild. So pretty strong one and will definitely see some play. Next one, we have a Mana Giant, 8 mana 8/8. Cost 1 less for each card you've played this game that didn't start in your deck. Pretty good one, I guess. It's a 8 mana 8/8 with a possibility for high discounts. How can you generate cards that didn't start in your deck? With Mage, that is not very hard because we have lots of cards that generate cards like Banana Buffoon and on other lots of stuff. So we'll definitely see some play. This is a 3-star card. maybe you'll not be fluid in every single mage deck, but it's definitely a strong one, because if you play this for how much this needs to cost to be played. If this costs 4, it's kind of very okay. 4 mana 8/8 is super nice nowadays. How hard is to play 4 card that didn't start in your deck before around 10 though? It's a little bit questionable, maybe a little bit challenging. Still, nevertheless, this is a pretty strong card and should not be underestimated whatsoever. Next one, we have a Rolling Fireball for Mage. 5 mana, deal 8 damage to a minion. Any excess damage continues to the left or right. Very good card. This reminds me a lot of a Flame Lance from back of the old days, from GTD Grand Tournament. How good is this card? It's pretty good, I say. It's pretty good one. I think this will definitely see some play in some kind of a control mage or slow type of mage, because it's the effect is pretty strong, so you can kill low, for example, minion that have 5 or 6 health, and then it will the fireball will transport and will bounce to the other minion, either if it's left or right. If it have 2 minions left and right, it will bounce randomly from one of them. But if there is a minion on the left or there is a minion on the right, will always go to the specific direction in the minion, so you will never miss any damage whatsoever. Pretty strong card. I give this a 4-star card. It will definitely see some play in one shape or another. Next one, we have Lightforge Zealot. 4 mana, 4/2 minion for Paladin. Battlecry. If your deck has no neutral cards, equip a 4/2 True Silver Champion. Holy mother! This card is absolutely beyond ridiculous. This is a 5-star card for me because, yeah, it's a little bit restriction. This is kind of a new type of unique restriction. So you need to only play class cards. So how bad is to play only class cards? It's not too bad. We even have this type of decks, for example, with Warlock and stuff like that. I personally play a Warlock deck with only Warlock cards because they are just way too great to not be in your deck. So how hard is to fulfill this condition? Not very hard. It's actually pretty reasonable, and the effect is super strong because you have the tempo and the True Silver Champion. True Silver Champion is actually a card that you run in your deck anyway, even if it's mid-range deck or control deck. So that's insanely good card, very good design. I love it. So let's move to the next one. Next one, Lightforge Crusader. 7 mana, 7/7, a minion for Paladin once again. Battlecry. If your deck has no neutral cards, add 5 random Paladin cards to your hand. Holy mother, that's its value, guys. That's absolutely ridiculous card. It's a 5-star card. So let me explain something. I'm not sure how often this card will be played. I'm not sure if this no neutral cards package will be kind of great or insane, but the card by itself, adding 5 random Paladin cards to your hand is beyond ridiculous. Back in the day of old, we have like we have Kabbalah Stomp back in the day for Mage, and it was played a lot of the time. So this one is very strong also. So I definitely see that this card will see some play in one shape or another. Yeah, I know it maybe will not be in every single deck, but standalone, this card, guys, it's absolutely beyond ridiculous. So let's move to the next one. Next one, we have Skyclaw. 3 mana, 1/3. Your other max have +1 attack. Battlecry, summon 2/1/1 micro Gyrocopters. So this card is not too bad. It's definitely will see some play in some kind of a zoo aggressive paladin decks, because when you summon these micro boss, they will be like 2/1 attacks. So it's pretty good stats for 3. It's also a max, so it has some synergy. It's pretty strong one. It's a 3-star card for me, so it will definitely see some play in one shape or another. So let's move to the next one. Next one we have Righteous Cause. Side quest, summon 5 minions. Reward, give your minions +1/+1. It costs 1 mana and is for paladin. I really don't like this card. It's way too situational, too slow, and to summon 5 minions just to give your minions +1/+1. It's way too clunky and it's require way too much preparation for such a small minor effect. We have cards like Grim Rally for Warlock that do exactly the same thing, and it's also more dynamic to use. So this card is a 1-star card for me. It's not too special. It probably will not see too much of a play. Next one we have Strength in Numbers. 1 mana Druid. Side quest, spend 10 mana on minions. Reward, summon a minion from your deck. This is something that is way too situational and way too random, so you need to build specific deck to have a good type of value from this card. So for example, you need to have only expensive cards, only expensive like some kind of a big large dragons or something. So other than that, it can fall short, because also you can't put just good minions with Battlecry, because you lost Battlecry when you summon a minion from your deck. So I think this is another 1-star card. It's like, seems like pack filler to me. Nothing too special. I don't like it too much. Next one we have Disciple of Galakrond. 1 mana 1/2 priest, a minion, very nice stats. Battlecry, invoke Galakrond. Well, this card is way too slow and actually do absolutely nothing on board. When it's played, of course, it gives you value, because when you invoke Galakrond, it's also activate his own Battlecry, his hero power effect, and the hero power of priest Galakrond is add random priest card to your hand. So how good is this on round 1? Is that important on round 1 to basically guarantee that will add you another priest card? Not too much. In late game though, it's pretty fine. But do you really want to play in control games? Do you really want to play this type of minion? I guess you not. So I think this is 2-star card, nothing too special, and will definitely not see a lot of play, because it's way too weak in comparison to many other decisions that you can put in 1 mana slot. So let's move to the next one. Next one we have Grave Rune. 4 mana priest spell, give a minion death shuttle, summon 2 copies of this. Summon 2 copies of this. So this is very similar to Conjurer calling for Mage, but it's kind of delayed effect. But it's pretty strong, I think, because it didn't actually kill your minion, so you will still retain your original hero. So how good is this? Well, it's pretty fine if it's not silenced, but if it's silenced, you'll feel like very, very bad, because you will spend 4 mana for absolutely nothing, and your minion will be silenced or polymorphed or hexed or whatever. So I don't think this card is very, very crazy right now. Maybe in some kind of very slow control / type of combo decks, maybe this can see some play, but other than that, no. It's a 2-star card for me, nothing too special. Let's move to the next one. Next one we have one of my favorite, if not the favorite cards in the expansion, This is a 5-star card. This is a Morrisons the Infinite. 8 mana, 8/8 dragon. It's a priest minion. It's a priest legendary minion. Battlecry, play all cards your opponent play last turn. So basically, your opponent will never ever be able to play around this card efficiently. Never, because how can you play around this card? So you basically need to skip every single round after round 10, after round 8, after round 7. So how can you avoid playing anything? So this is the only way to counter this card, is to avoid playing anything. So this card is basically absolutely insane against mid-range, control, and tempo decks. Because your opponent can play a board clear and minions and stuff. So then when you play this, you will clear his board and you will get 8/8 and you will get any type of minions that he summoned the last round on your side of the board. How good is this? This is amazing. It's a 5-star card all over the place. However, how often you can allow to play this card versus aggro decks? Not very often, because most probably you will die. Because aggro decks didn't play cards that will take a very good effect on your side of the board. So against aggro, this card is very mediocre, and that's kind of a big problem, because I really like the card. It's kind of absolutely insane mechanic. So let's move to the next one. Next one, we have 0 mana priest spell. Well, it's kind of a dangerous one, I think. Whispers of Evil, add lucky to your hand. This is very comparable to Sinister Deal for a Warlock. It's kind of a similar effect, a little bit weaker though, because you didn't discover the lucky. It's randomly added to your hand, so you will not have your desired lucky every time. So it's not that great like Sinister Deal. However, this is like a free card, so it can be used in some kind of mid-range or kind of control decks with conjunction with Wild Pyromancer, so you can use to clear the board and cycle through your Wild Pyromancer bullshit, so you can clear your opponent's board. You can combine this with other 0 mana spells. You can combine this with Gadgeson Actioneer and stuff like that. So it's I think this is a 3-star card. It's pretty strong one, and you should never underestimate 0 mana cards in Hearthstone. Next one, we have Bloodsail Flybooter. 1 mana 1/1 pirate for Rogue. Battlecry, add 2 1/1 pirates to your hand. So we have previously we have similar cards like this for Druid Acorn Bearer, so it's a pretty similar one, but this effect is a little bit more faster, because this one is Death Shuttle for the Druid card Acorn Bearer, but also add 2 squirrels to your hand, which is Beast. This one add pirates, which have synergy. So this card will definitely see some play in some kind of ridiculously aggressive rogue deck. So this is a 3-star card. Very good one. Also adding a low cost card for a rogue, it's a very good, because it's a combo activator. So yeah, why not? This is pretty nice one. So let's move to the next one. We have Corrupt Elementalist. 5 mana 3/3 Battlecry, invoke Galakrond twice. Alright guys, alright, so we need to take something in consideration here. This card is so much better than actually it looks, and I will explain why. Because invoke Galakrond twice. Hero power of Galakrond for Shaman is summon 2/1 elemental with rush. So basically, when you play this card, you will summon 2 minions, elementals, 2/1 mana, 2/1 minions with rush, which is in total like 7/5 in stats in general, 7/5 in stats. You will then can trade these 2 minions, because it's invoke Galakrond twice, that you will summon 2 minions, so you can trade these 2 minions. This is like 3/4 damage on the board. 3/4 damage on the board without any type of condition. So you will not get overloaded and stuff like this. So this card is so freaking insane. Beside that, it will invoke Galakrond, which is very important, twice. So you need to only play this card 2 times. So you play this card 2 times, and your Galakrond is in your final form. How crazy is that? How crazy is that? This is a 5-star card all over the place. This card will definitely see a lot of play because it's that amazing. I can't say anything else about this card because it will not be enough. I can talk about this card forever, and it's just that great. Next one, we have another Shaman spell, Dragon's Pack, 5 mana, summon 2/3 Spirit Wolves with Taunt. If you've invoked twice, give them +3/+3. So how good is that? That is pretty insane. It's very comparable to Feral Spirit, but Feral Spirit will overload you, so it costs also 5, but without the additional effect. So you don't need to worry about the overload effect on the next round. So even if you play this on round 5, you will not feel that bad without the effect, but with the effect is absolutely crazy, because this is like 2 mana, like 5 mana, 5/6 with taunt, double 5/6 with taunt. How good is this? Absolutely crazy, absolutely crazy. So this card it's a 4-star card. It's a little bit slow and require a little bit preparation, but when this card is played, you will most probably win the game. So very good stuff. Next one, we have the Galakrond itself. I will not explain too much in details for Galakrond, because it's already explained a lot. So the first form is summon 2 storms with rush. The second form is when you invoke twice, it will summon 2 4/4 storm with rush, and when it's invoked even 4 times, it will go into the final form, which will summon 2 8/8 with rush, which is absolutely insane. And of course we'll add 5 2 claw to your hero, like a weapon, like every other Galakrond hero card. Is that good? Yeah, it's pretty good, because this is extremely purely mid-range tempo oriented card, because when you play invoke card during your game, you will be able to keep control on board, you will be able to keep the tempo, so you will never lose tempo when you play a Galakrond card, so you will feel good about this. This is a 5-star card, a very strong one, and you'll definitely see some Galakrond decks, maybe this will be one of the most played Galakrond in the game, but I'm not sure yet, so we need still to wait and see what will happen. So let's move to the next one. We have Invocation of Frost, 1 mana Shaman spell, freeze an enemy, invoke Galakrond. Well, this is a little bit on the weak side, if I may ask. It's a 1-star card. We have this type of card before for Mage, and we didn't see too much of a play. This one is for Shaman. Freezing Shaman is never been a thing, and will never ever be. Invoke Galakrond. So this is like 1 mana freeze a minion and summon 2/1 minion with rush. Is that worth it? Maybe it's worth it, but I still think it's a little bit on the weak side because you really don't want to put this card to take slot in your otherwise very powerful deck that you want to build with Galakrond. If somehow you need to desperately invoke Galakrond, maybe you should consider putting this one, but it's a little bit on the weak side, so let's move to the next one. Next one we have Squall Hunter, 4 mana 5/7 minion for Shaman. To be honest, this is a little bit on the weak side for me. Spell damage plus 2 can be somehow relevant, but I'm not very sure. I didn't like the overload mechanic too much in general, so I don't think this will see any play whatsoever. It's a little bit weak, so I give this a 2-star card. It seems like a pack filler to me, so let's move to the next one. Next one we have Storm's Wrath, 1 mana Shaman spell. Give your minions +1/+1 overload 1. So we have now we have a small cost buff for Shaman. I'm a little bit confused what's going on with the classes here. Isn't that supposed to be for other classes like Paladin or Druid kind of trademark to buff minions on board like this with small kind of spells? I don't know. Is that card any good? No, this is a 2-star card for me. I don't like that it's actually overload for 1. Why, when we have another class that do exactly the same for the same mana cost? No, it's just a little bit too weak for me to give more like hope for this card, so it's not very good. And next one we have Surging Tempest, 1 mana 1/3 elemental Shaman. He has +1 attack while we have overloaded mana crystal. Well, this is bring me a bad memories. There is no chance that you will not compare this card to Tunnel Trog. So Tunnel Trog is one of my most hated cards in the entire Hearthstone history because it's just so stupidly RNG oriented card. It's so freaking annoying. So this one is kind of a similar but not that insane like the Tunnel Trog, because Tunnel Trog actually keep all the buffs when you overload. So for example, if you overload for 2, this buff will stay alive forever, but this one will lose the effect when you are not overloaded anymore. So it's not strong like Tunnel Trog, but it's still very dangerous one. It's a premium 1 mana drop, so I think we'll definitely see some play. It's a 4-star card for me because you never underestimate 1 mana minions with high stats, with high health stats and that kind of effect. So never underestimate this type of card. It's a 4-star card. It will definitely see some play. It's great in Vicina deck, kind of overload decks. So you'll definitely see some play in mindless aggro decks. So let's move to the next one. Next one we have a pretty mediocre one, Rain of Fire, 1 mana warlock spell. It's pretty weak. If you ask me, this is just a whirlwind for warlock. Why? We warlock don't need this. It's basically almost the same. The very small difference, most people maybe even will not notice the difference, but the difference is that deal 1 damage to all characters, which means that it will also damage your hero and your hero, enemy hero and your hero. A whirlwind only damage minions on board, so it's pretty mediocre one, very weak in my opinion. It's not enough for today's standards to actually be able to do something on board. It's a 1-star card and will probably not see any play whatsoever. So let's move to the next one. Next one we have Awaken, 3 mana warrior spell. Invoke Galakrond deal 1 damage to all minions. So basically it's like another type of whirlwind effect, but this one it's way too expensive. If you ask me, yeah, you will invoke Galakrond, and Galakrond hero power for warrior, it's give your attack, it give your hero 3 attack this turn. So how good is this? It's a good effect, but I think it's a little bit too expensive for this. So this is a 2-star card for me, nothing too special, and will definitely not be played very much. Next one, we have Ramming Speed. 3 mana, another warrior spell. Force a minion to attack one of its neighbors. So the first thing that comes to mind, it's Betrayal for Warlock. For Rogue, excuse me, for Rogue. It's pretty similar to this Rogue card. But it costs 1 more. It will definitely, if you play against 2 minions, it's very, very good, because it will most probably 2 minions will die if they have similar attack and health. So I don't know. This card will probably see some play in Control Warrior, if Control Warrior is a thing, but I don't believe so, because we have now Armor Destroyer card, Plate Breaker, which is cost 5 mana, 5/5, and destroy your enemy's armor. So I don't think this card will see any play whatsoever anytime soon. It's a 2-cost card. I also compare this card to Super Collider, because it's similar, but it's a little bit weaker. I think with Super Collider you can have a lot more value and you can destroy a lot more minions with this. With Ramming Speed though, I don't think so. This is a 2-star card for me. It's nothing too special, but we'll definitely see some play if Control Warrior is kind of a thing sometime soon, which is something that I don't believe it will happen anytime soon. Let's move to the next one. Next one, we have a Ritual Chopper, a 2 mana 1/2 weapon for warrior, Battlecry, invoke Galakrond. This card it's actually a lot better than it's actually looks, because it's Battlecry, invoke Galakrond, which means that this weapon will automatically turn into 4 attack weapons the first time that it's attack, because of the invoke hero power of Galakrond. So how good is to make 4 damage for 2 mana? It's pretty good. I think it's pretty good, but I'm not sure how often you will want to put this type of card into your deck. If it's Control Warrior, maybe, but I think it's way too costly to do that, because otherwise the weapon is not very strong. I give this card a 2-star card. Nothing too special, nothing too bad. It will definitely not shine whatsoever. So let's move to the next one. Next one, we have Sky Raider. 1 mana 1/2 Battlecry, add a random pirate to your hand. It's a pirate and it's a warrior card. So there will be a new pirate warrior, that's confirmed. There is a lot of cards that will support this. And do I'm happy about this? No, because this is purely stupid RNG oriented deck that will rely on super heavy draw. And if you didn't draw correctly, you will lose the game on round 5. And if you draw correctly and if you have a god hand, you will basically getting out of control so ridiculously that you will not be able to lose a game whatsoever. So how good is this card? This is, for me, is a 5-star card, because this is basically a card that can carry the all archetype, because it's a 1-drop, it's a 1/2, it's pirate, and it creates another pirate, so it can create itself. It can create another pirate, so you will play this and you will not lose card advantage. How important is this in aggro decks? Extremely important. So when you play something and you don't lose card advantage, is ridiculously important in aggro decks. So it's not, it didn't add a random minion to your hand, it adds a random pirate, which means that this pirate will have synergy with other pirates in your deck. So this card is absolutely insane. Next one, we have Skybar. 3 mana, 2/5. After you summon a pirate, deal 2 damage to a random enemy. It's not enemy minion, it's enemy, which means that this can hit your opponent's face. So this is another warrior card that can see play in pirate decks, and definitely is one of the most crucial card to put in the deck. So the first card that actually I think about when I see this was a Flame Waker. Flame Waker is very similar to this card in stats and damage, but yeah, I think it's pretty similar one, and we will have trouble with this card. This card will be very strong and very annoying. The other card that actually also have similarity between this card is one very old card. It's called Ship Cannon, and is have pure pirate synergy. So it's also similar to this one, but I think the Skybar it's actually better because it have 2 more health and will be extremely annoying. This is a 4-star card for me. Because this is after you summon a pirate, you don't have to play the pirate, you need to summon the pirate, so which is extremely important, so you can have synergy with basically almost everything that you play and summon pirates. So how good is this card? It's extremely good. This will carry, this and the previous card will carry the pirate warrior to the next level, and pirate warrior will definitely be a thing after the releasing of the expansion. Also with the new weapon Anchar. So pirate warrior is definitely just around the corner. You need to wait and see. Very, very strong stuff. I'm not happy about it, but it is what it is. Now we start with the neutral cards. Big Ol' Whelp, a 5 mana 5/5 dragon neutral card, Battlecry Joker. How good is this? This is a 3-star card. It's very similar to Azure Drake back in the day, as Azure Drake was a 5 mana 4/4. This is draw a card and have +1 spell damage. Nobody actually care about the spell damage, so this is basically power creeping of the good old Azure Drake. So pretty strong one, a good card that you will want to put in your dragon decks. Next one, we have Blazing Battle Mage, 1 mana 2/2 neutral minion. So purely aggressively oriented card. Nothing to talk about here, just pure stats. Good stuff. Probably some extremely aggressive decks will want to include this in their decks. Next one, we have Evasive Camara, 2 mana 2/1 neutral minion beast, poisonous, can't be targeted by spell or hero power. This is a little bit on the weak side. 2 mana card, 2-star card. It definitely will see some play in arena, but other than that, I don't see any chance. Next one, we have 4 mana 5/4 neutral dragon minion, Evasive Fei Wink, can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. This is very similar to Fury Dragon, which costs 2 mana and can be targeted by any spells or hero powers. Is that good? Do you want to put this one into your constructed deck? Maybe. This is actually a pretty strong card because it's a aggressively started card. So why not you put this card into your mid-range tempo dragon deck? So it's pretty good one, and I like it. I like this type of card, so why not? Next one, Evasive Worm, 6 mana 5/3 neutral dragon, Divine Shield Rush, can't be targeted by spells or hero power. Wow, a lot of stuff actually happening here. This card is actually pretty good. It's a 4-star card for me. I can compare this card to Urgent Commander from the classic set, but this one is way better because it have a Divine Shield, also like the Urgent Commander, but also can be targeted by spell or hero powers, which means that your opponent needs to trade minions to actually remove this card. How good is this card? Pretty good one. It have impact on board, so you basically will play this, kill some 4 or 5 drop minions even, and you will retain the minion on board that will be sticky and will not be easy to remove. So definitely a 4-star card for me. How often you will see this card? It depends on the meta, but standalone, this card is very, very insane. So how I give a star rating to this card is I didn't predict how often these cards will be played. I just evaluate the card by pure value, by how good they're in standalone, like, excuse me, like standalone vacuum situation. So in vacuum situation, this card is pretty good, and I think we'll definitely see some play. Next one, we have Faceless Corruptor, another 5 mana 5/4 neutral minion. Battlecry Rush, also have a rush. Transform one of your minions into a copy of this. So this is pretty strong effect. This is a 4-star card. This will definitely see, maybe we'll see some kind of a play in a kind of token, a decks that you can transform like one of your 1/1 or 1/2 small token into a monstrosity that will have a rush, 5 attack and 4 health. So why not? Why not? This is actually pretty good and strong card. Even by itself, 5 mana, deal 5 damage, unconditionally neutral card. It's pretty strong, and I think this is definitely something that I like and I will put into my deck when I play it. Next one, we have Hoke, another neutral minion, 3 mana, 1/3 elemental. Battlecry, gain +1 attack for each card in your opponent's hand. This is a little bit on the weak side. I don't think this will ever see any play whatsoever because it's way too conditional and it didn't do anything on board when it's played, so no. Next we have Gobbling Tech, 3 mana, 3/3 neutral minion. Battlecry, if you control a mech, gain +1/+1 and rush. How good is this? It's pretty strong effect. Even if you don't have the +1/+1 ability, 3 mana, 3/3 rush, it's okay. So how often you can allow yourself to have mech on board? It's pretty often, especially with cards like Snip Snap and other similar that have a sticky effect. So it's pretty strong one. Definitely a 3-star card. It will most probably will see some play. I don't know exactly in which deck this card can see play, but we'll definitely find some play in one form or another. Next one, we have one of these meme cards. Grizzlies Wizard, another 2 mana, 3/2 neutral minions. Battlecry, swap hero powers with your opponent until your next turn. Wow, that's so nothing. This is a 1-star card. It's definitely a card that you will never want to put into your constructed deck because it have synergy with nothing. But it's nevertheless aggressively started card, and we most probably will see some play in arena. So not bad. I like the art though. Great, amazing art. Next one, we have Gyrocopter, 6 mana, 4/5 rush, Wind Fury. I don't know. It's not too bad, but I think this will not see any play whatsoever. It's not that strong. Next one, we have Hippogriff, 4 mana, 2/6 rush taunt. It's just a pack filler to me, nothing too much to talk about here. 2-star card. Maybe we'll see some play against hyper aggro decks, but more than that I can say. It just look like a pack filler to me. Next one, we have one ridiculously strong card. This is a 4-star card for me, just because one thing. Pirate Warrior. Imagine this with Anchor. So you basically destroy your Anchor and play this one. It's insane. It's just insane. Let's read the card text. Horde Pillager, 4 mana, 4/2. It's a pirate. Battlecry, equip your destroyed weapon. Do you understand how powerful and ridiculous this card is? This means that in warrior deck, you can play not 1, not 2, but 3 Anchors. 3 Anchors. So this means that you will draw a lot of cards, you will be consistent, and you will get out of control, and you will most probably win the game. Outside of this deck, I don't know. I don't think so. But in this deck especially, only because of this deck, I give this card a 4-star card, guys. 4-star card. Very, very strong one. Next one, we have Living Dragon Breath, 3 mana, 3/4. Your minions can't be frozen. This kind of unique effect, and is that strong enough to put into your deck? No. Mage should be some extremely powerful deck for this card to see any play. So it's a 1-star card. It will never see any play whatsoever. Next one, we have another pirate. Parachute Brigand, 2 mana, 2/2, pirate, neutral minion. After you play a pirate, summon this minion from your hand. Is that good? Yeah, that's insane. Because when you play pirate, you will just play this for free. Is that good? Yeah, it's insane. 4-star card, a ridiculously annoying card to have this in your opening hand. And you can start snowballing after you play 1 or 2 pirates. So if you have 2 of this, if you play 1 pirate, you will summon 2 of this in 2 copies this card from your hand, and you will basically win the game on round 3 or 4 if your opponent didn't have board clear. So it's crazy. Next one, we have Scale Rider, 3 mana, 3/3. Battlecry, if you're holding a dragon, deal 2 damage. So basically this is like a SI7 but neutral. Is that strong? Yeah, it's actually pretty strong, because SI7 is still played today in some tempo-oriented decks in Rogue. So this one is very similar one. The only condition that you need to have is you have a dragon in your hand. So how hard is this? Not very hard right now if you play some kind of dragon-oriented deck. So it's a pretty strong one. It's in the power level of a class card, and that says enough. 4-star card. I will definitely see some play in one shape or another. Next one, Skyfin, 5 mana, 3/3 neutral Murloc. Battlecry, if you are holding a dragon, summon 2 random Murlocs. I'm a little bit confused about this card. How you will have a synergy with dragons and Murloc. Back in the day we have cards that summon that buff Murlocs and dragons. That card is now available in Battlegrounds, but other than that I don't see this card like any particularly strong. It's just a meme card to me. It's a 1-star card and will definitely not see any play whatsoever. Next one, we have another Murloc, Tasty Flyfish. 2 mana, 2/2, Death Rattle, give a dragon in your hand, +2/+2. How good is this? Not very good. This is a 1-star card. It's way too slow, and you don't want to put this type of card into your dragon deck, because why? You will need to play this on round 2. The stat is not very great. The effect is slow. So, and it's conditional. Maybe sometimes if you are unlucky you will not have a dragon in your hand. So no, this looks more like a pack filler to me, and it's not very serious to consider this card to be put into your deck. Let's move to the next one. Next one, we have Troll Batrider, 4 mana, 3/3 neutral minion. Battlecry, deal 3 damage to a random enemy minion. That's pretty strong effect, by the way. Another type of this tempo card that is pushed, and I'm really happy about this, because sometimes when you play this type of decks you prefer to play this type of cards instead of spells. So that's pretty strong one, and it's remind me of Bomb Lover. Bomb Lover was not a bad card back in the day. It cost 1 more though and deal 1 more damage, but is that good? Yeah, it's pretty good. I think this card is definitely a solid 3-star card that maybe you will even consider putting into your deck. Why not? Maybe sometimes you need this type of damage against aggro decks and stuff like that when you are out of spells or stuff like that. Also, this card is will be amazing in Arena. Next one, we have Edgard Grapple Sniper. That's some kind of strange name. 6 mana, 5/5 neutral minion Battlecry. Both players draw a card. If it's a dragon, summon it. So how good is this card? This is a very good card if you play against non-dragon deck. But if you play against a dragon deck, it's very, very risky. So I think this is a 2-star card. Not something that is too special, but maybe if you're desperate, maybe you can play this in some shape or another. Let's move to the next one. Next one and the last one, I think we have Wink Commander. We have a video game back in the day with the same name. I think there is some kind of a reference about that. 4 mana, 2/5 neutral minion, has +2 attack for each dragon in your hand. Is that any good? No. It's just a chill wind yeti with a little bit much more attack, but it basically have no synergy with. It didn't have synergy with anything. And maybe if you want to play a dragon deck, maybe you want to make your deck with a lot more dragons instead of this type of card. So I don't think this card will see any serious play whatsoever. But it's maybe if you have 2 or 3 dragons in arena, if you have some kind of consistency in arena with the dragons, I think this card can see some play in one shape or another. So yeah, that's every single card. We did it. I review every single card from the Descent of Dragons expansion. So guys, thank you very much for watching this review. I know it's long, but there is a lot of cards. I've tried to be as quick as possible, like always, but I can't be super quick like other reviews. But that was like 49 cards and I did it for 50 minutes, so I spent like roughly around 1 minute per card, maybe even less. So thank you guys for watching. Descent of Dragons will descend in the Azeroth in Hearthstone universe on December 10, 2019, which is very soon from now. Thank you guys for joining me. That was every single review for me for this expansion. It was a very good journey for me to talk about this card. It's mostly fun and it was nice to read your opinions in YouTube and stuff like that. So thank you guys for watching. I see you guys online.